Let's get right into it. Today, we've got one massive goal. We're going to take you from staring at a blank, super intimidating page all the way to a finished, fully stylized masterpiece. If you're ready to peek behind the curtain and figure out the actual mechanics of great art, you're in the exact right place. We're breaking down the science of sketching using some incredibly practical insights from working pros, and we're going to build this from the ground up so every single concept is crystal clear. Let's dive in.
Ever look at your sketchbook and think, man, why do my drawings always look so flat or stiff? Yeah, we hear this all the time. It is incredibly frustrating to have a vivid, dynamic image in your head, but the second you put pencil to paper, it just kind of looks lifeless. A lot of beginners blame a lack of talent. Well, let's just bust that myth right now. Drawing is not magic, it's a learned skill. Good art is literally just the application of specific foundational rules. And once you understand those rules, everything changes.
So here's our game plan for this explainer. First, we'll hit fixing the fundamentals. Second, the rules of composition. Then, mastering light and shading. And finally, finding your unique art style.
All right, part one, fixing the fundamentals, building the structure.
Okay, let's talk about the dreaded hairy line. You know what I mean, right? It's that classic beginner habit of making short, scratchy, repeated strokes. It happens when we're terrified of making a mistake, so we draw super tightly, just using our wrists. But pros? They do the exact opposite. They use confident, smooth strokes. The trick is locking your wrist and drawing from the shoulder. Moving your entire arm naturally creates smoother curves and straighter lines. It completely kills that messy, uncertain look.
Here's a really fun one. Our brains are actually kind of lazy. They love shortcuts. We call this symbol drawing. Say I ask you to draw an eye. Your brain immediately hands you a generic symbol. It goes, oh, an eye. Here's an almond shape with a circle in the middle. But real eyes have complex, overlapping lids and actual depth. To level up, you have to switch to observational drawing. You literally have to train yourself to draw the weird, unexpected shapes you are actually looking at in your reference instead of the simplified symbols your memory tries to trick you with.
Now, what if your characters end up looking like stiff, wooden action figures? The absolute best cure for that is gesture drawing. Before you even think about an outline, gesture drawing is all about capturing the raw energy, the weight, and the flow of a pose. You use these loose, sweeping lines to find the spine and the limbs in just a matter of seconds. You are not stressing over anatomy here. You're just capturing the life of the subject so the foundation isn't rigid. The secret sauce to all of this is following this exact sequence. Step 1 is that loose gesture. Step 2 is building basic 3D shapes over it. Spheres for heads, cylinders for arms, boxes for the torso. Step 3, and you really can't skip this, is checking proportions. Is the arm way too long? Fix it now. Because step 4 is adding surface details. If you start drawing delicate little eyelashes or jacket wrinkles before you've built a solid box or cylinder underneath, you are practically guaranteeing your proportions will be totally wrecked. Moving right along to part 2, rules of composition, framing your subject. Okay, rapid fire. Here are 5 golden rules of composition that basically hack the viewer's brain. The rule of thirds divides your canvas into a grid, putting key elements on the intersections. The focal point ensures there's one clear star of the show. Odd numbers means groupings of 3 or 5 are naturally more pleasing than even numbers. Balancing positive and negative space keeps things from feeling suffocated. And perspective? That's what gives us the illusion of massive, 3D space on a totally flat page. Everett Hopper's masterpiece, Nighthawks, is literally a masterclass in this. Hopper uses a sharp vanishing point to aggressively drag your eye from the right side of the canvas all the way across to the left. And notice the people sitting at the counter. There's one person alone, plus 2 hanging out with the worker. That creates a grouping of 3, an odd number. He deliberately balanced the heavy, busy, positive space on the right with huge chunks of negative space on the left. The masters don't just wing it, they engineer the scene. Here's a trick that will save you so much time and headache, the 70-30 rule. Beginners always try to cram maximum detail into every single square inch of the paper. Don't! Make 70% of your sketch lower contrast, low detail filler. Why? Because it gives the eye a place to rest. It naturally forces the viewer's attention directly onto that remaining 30%, your high contrast, highly detailed focal point. Less noise in the background makes your main subject absolutely pop. All right, part 3, mastering light and shading, creating 3D reality. This is where the magic happens. To make things look truly 3D, you need to understand the core shadow.
To shade realistically, you absolutely have to pick one consistent light source. The coarse shadow sits opposite that light and is the darkest area on the object itself. It acts as an anchor. Without a strong, clear coarse shadow, your drawing is going to stay looking flat no matter how much detail you try to pack in.
So, how do we actually put the graphite down to build those shadows? You've got hatching with parallel lines, cross-hatching with intersecting lines, and stippling, which is just tiny dots. Blending with a tissue is great for smooth stuff like skies, but hold up, look at this last one, circulism. This is a brilliant pro trick where you draw tiny, overlapping, irregular little circles. It is literally the ultimate secret weapon for rendering incredibly realistic natural human skin.
Okay, quick pause for a massive pro tip. Always, and I mean always, place an extra piece of scrap paper underneath your resting hand while you shade. Trust me, there is zero pain quite like spending 3 hours building up a gorgeous high-contrast drawing only to accidentally drag the sweaty side of your palm across the paper and smear the whole thing into a muddy gray disaster. Save yourself.
All right, the final stretch, part 4, finding your art style in under a week.
People think finding a style takes decades of wandering in the woods. It doesn't. Artist Christopher Carey has a highly actionable 4-step hack for deliberately building a style in literally under a week. First, pick 3 artists you absolutely love who are very different from each other. Second, pick just one image from each. Third, and pay attention, this is key, analyze the specific element you love in that image. Is it the chunky outlines? The muted colors? Figure it out. Step 4, apply those 3 specific elements to whatever subject you naturally love drawing. It's basically a visual equation. You take artist X's delicate, sketchy line work, mix it with artist Y's crazy, bold colors, and throw in artist Z's intense, dramatic shadows. By deliberately mixing these carefully analyzed pieces together, you get something totally new. It feels familiar and appealing because it's built on proven techniques, but the specific combo is 100% uniquely yours. You aren't copying, you're synthesizing. To keep yourself on track with this new style, you've got to act as your own art director. Use this 5-question diagnosis after your sketches. Ask yourself, 1. Are my proportions actually correct? 2. Is the perspective believable? 3. Did I keep the lighting to one consistent source? 4. Does the gesture make this pose feel alive? And 5. Honestly, did I rush into adding details too early? Catching these mistakes early stops them dead in their tracks before they become permanent bad habits.
And that's a wrap on our core lessons. But I want to leave you with this. Knowing the fundamentals, the composition rules, the physics of light, it doesn't box you in. Actually, scratch that. It does the opposite. Fundamentals equal freedom. Once you have the structure down, you have the absolute power to bend and break those rules with intention. So knowing all this, how are you going to break the rules today? Go grab a pencil and find out. Thanks so much for hanging out with me on The Explainer. Keep creating.